And tell us a little bit more about this Hong Kong Human Rights and Democracy Act. What are they actually thinking about doing now?
Well, this is legislation that could have a real impact here if it does get passed. The big thing is that it would require an annual assessment by the U.S. of just how independent Hong Kong is from Beijing and whether it has enough autonomy to continue its special trading status. And this is a status that over the years has given it a reputation as a really safe place for global companies to do business with China and really serve as a gateway to the mainland. And if that goes away, it could have a sizable impact on what's going to happen here in the future.
And Karen, we heard from a top advisor to Carrie Lam, who spoke to Bloomberg about the unrest. What exactly did he have to say?
Well, he really underscored the feeling here, which is that this could go on for a long time with both sides really digging in. Carrie Lam made a major concession earlier this month when she withdrew the controversial legislation that led to these protests to begin with. But she hasn't made any more since, and protesters saying they're not going to back down. And this was Bernard Chan speaking to us. He's a top advisor to Carrie Lam, and he's saying that the government isn't likely to make more concessions and the protesters aren't likely to back down, that there's underlying issues here that go beyond the 5 demands that they've made throughout the summer. So he really highlighted what a lot of people here have been thinking, which is that this is going to go on for a protracted period of time. And what that means for the city's stability and especially for its economy remains to be seen.
So what we've seen in some of these protests on the weekends is that they're going to the consulates. They're going and trying to get support from foreign governments. Is that really going to help? We have this legislation now, but is it also up to President Trump, too, to try to step into all this as well?
Yeah, well, they marched to the British consulate and they were singing the British national anthem outside. And the UK, of course, used to be the colonial ruler here. And thousands of people marched to the U.S. consulate a couple of weeks ago, trying to appeal to President Trump, demanding that this bill be passed. And whether that had an impact on what the senators are going to be doing, what U.S. lawmakers think about all of this and how important it is, we don't know. But it is something that they've diversified. They didn't used to do this at the beginning of the summer. These were just marches through central Hong Kong, and they've kind of widened their demands, and they've really expanded where they're kind of taking these protests.
Yeah.